Welcome back to Stacked, and today we're going to talk about how we closed a revenue share client and built their entire backend. So most people think that you need a big team, a fancy agency, and months of planning to land a high-value client. Nope. You need clarity, a good offer, and a system that delivers results. So in this episode, we're pulling back the curtain on how we pitched a revenue share model, how we closed the deal, and how we built an entire backend from branding and automations to payment systems and onboarding flows, all inside of DallowryFlow. This is real, this is replicatable, and this is a major growth leveler if you're a service provider, consultant, or anyone building systems for other people. So here's why this deal mattered. We really actually didn't go looking for this client. They came to us a little burned out, a little overwhelmed, and a little stuck in the client service chaos. They had the talent and they had the leads, but they were drowning in admin, follow-ups, invoicing, contract gaps, and client miscommunication, you name it. It was just taking too dang long to handle what they needed to handle. And what they didn't have was a back end that worked for them. And honestly, that's most small businesses nowadays. So here's what we pitched: a revenue share over a flat fee. So we could have easily charged $15,000 to $20,000 for the full setup. We have before, we will again. But we saw a long-term potential, and they had a clear path to scale once the systems were in place. They were already growing, they just weren't doing it as effectively as they could. So we pitched a revenue share model instead, where 10% of the new business revenue generated through our system comes to us, and they keep their cash flow up front. We stay invested long-term, and the deal stays win-win. So that means they didn't pay us diddly squat to build it out. But here's why this works. It aligned with incentives. It proved to them that we are so willing to bet on our systems, and we believe so greatly in the growth potential that we are willing to work for free and only be paid if it actually works. It also encourages both sides to show up fully. We can only build as good of a system as they allow us to. So the more information that we have, the better the system gets. The better the system gets, the more money they make. So it's a win-win. And it definitely kept our offer from sounding like just another bill. So here's what the build is and how we took it from chaos to clarity and the 6 key steps that we followed. We did not just drop in a template. Now, templates are great to start from, and if you don't have any experience building automation, 100% use the cheat. Start with a recipe and build from there and learn the flow and the capabilities of automation. But what we did is we built the backbone of their business using their ideas with DallowryFlow. So we built a custom branded portal that has intake forms, onboarding steps, and video walkthroughs. We built client journey automations that go all the way from proposal to contract to invoice to welcome letter to kickoff email, all on autopilot. We had their payment system set up so that they can have recurring invoices, first-time client setups, and no chased collections. 4, we built them a lead capture and nurture sequence, which is going to have smart forms, trigger links, and lead tags that all feed directly into DallowryFlow. Number 5, we have now an offer library, which is centralized templates for different service packages with dynamic updates, which allows their setters and their sales team to run full speed ahead, knowing they have the right information. And 6, we have weekly check-in systems. So we check in weekly with the client to make sure there's nothing else that they need us to build. And we took what used to take them 2 hours per client and made it 10 minutes. And that's not an exaggeration. That is automation done right. That is our expectation when we go into systems. It shouldn't just save you a little time. Overall, the entire system should give you back weeks, if not more, within a year. So obviously the client said yes, because they weren't just buying software that they had to build on their own or figure out how to learn, because DallowryFlow can be like learning a whole new language. They were actually just saying yes to clarity, peace of mind, and a path forward. And we made it worth it because they're only giving up revenue if we help them grow, which means they're growing. They have new revenue to share. And they said yes because our pitch wasn't just theoretical, it was visual. We showed them what their business could feel like. We walked them through a live demo of what we built and what our system actually looks like as Dallowry, and they were sold before we even finished the call. We also gave them an out. No long-term contract, just a simple 10% on actual growth. No growth, no payment. But, spoiler alert, they grew, which we knew that they would. So when they get results and they have an ROI, I bet you can guess what happens next, but let's just talk about it. Their revenue went up within 30 days. They had 0 missed follow-ups, which made their trust go further and last longer. Their onboarding time cut in half, which means that they had that time back to focus on additional growth and expansion. The client reviews doubled because they weren't having to do the awkward asks. And because they had more reviews, they showed up more online, which means they had more leads, which aren't getting dropped, which means they had more business. And on top of it all, they weren't going through burnout anymore, which boosted their confidence, which means that they could sell better, which means that those leads coming in, they could close better. So now they're using DallowryFlow to sell their own programs and digital offers. And the same system we built is now their revenue engine. And that's the magic of building from the start. We don't fix it, we scale it, and we build from the foundation. So the takeaways, and what can you steal from this episode, right? If you're a service provider, don't just sell deliverables, sell the results. You can obviously show without just telling them. Use visuals, demos, and Loom videos or recorded Zoom videos. Make sure that you're posting videos on the social media platforms. And if possible, you should maybe consider a revenue share for high potential clients because it's going to build immediate trust. It's going to stick longer, and the risk might be all on you in the beginning. But in the end, if you're actually as good as you say, it's going to be well worth it for both parties. If you're a business owner, if you're doing everything manually, you're bleeding time and missing growth. So ask yourself, if I handed my business to a stranger, would they know what to do? If the answer is no, then you got to start building systems. If you're listening to this and thinking, I actually need that set up, then don't worry, we've got you. You can either learn how to build it yourself by listening to this podcast, joining our community, or you can hire us to do it for you. DallowryFlow isn't just a tool, it's your entire back office, branded, automated, and repeatable. You've been listening to Stacked, where we automate, elevate, and repeat.